That's bad.
Alright, we are back to working on the turbo small block Ford Mustang today, and we've got a few things to figure out. So if you remember from the last video with this thing, it was puffing out the breather, so I want to do a compression test. We'll do some sort of leak down test, and it was not making any boost. So for the boost, I might just have way too light of a spring in it. I put the lightest spring I could find, or that came with this wastegate in it, and it might just be too light. So to start, I'm just going to tee off this line and connect it to the top port, force it to make a little bit more boost. We'll see if that does anything. And then as far as the smoke puffing out of the valve cover, what I'm going to do for that is we're going to put the catch can system back on it. We won't have the vacuum pump, unfortunately, but we'll at least be able to like catch and muffle all the smoke and everything coming out of the motor. So that all went here. It's right here. So these brackets are going to bolt exactly like that, and then this amazing DIY PVC pipe catch can is gonna bolt right in here, and it's gonna look sweet, and everybody's gonna be happy. And then probably the most annoying part of this is this valve cover has to come off to do this, because I've got to put this back on, which this also has like some steel wool in it, but it bolts to the valve cover, which is kind of an annoying thing instead of just being one that can push in. And then once all that's done, we can take the car out and test it. So I think we're going to start with the hardest part, which is going to be getting the valve cover on and off, because that's a big process on this. See, that wasn't so bad. While we're here, we'll check the rockers and everything. I just set them the other day, so I was expecting them to be pretty close to where they were, so those all seem good. Let's get this thing bolted on the valve cover and then slap that thing back on. What an inconvenient setup. Right now, I'm still choosing to believe that the rings are actually okay, even though I'm pretty confident that they're not. And once we get this back on, we'll do some tests. See if there's anything we can figure out. Let's see, I'm gonna want you about like that angle, right? Alright, got this thing back on. Major pain in the butt. Now let's try to finagle this thing back into place. We don't want you tight. We don't want you tight. We want you just right. How can I do this? How did I do this before? Oh God, not like that. Not like that. Fuck! This V-band is in such a crummy spot, dude. Stupid Fords, man. Stupid turbo. Stupid Ford. Stupid turbo. No, you get out of my way. Aha. Ha ha. We got it. My arm doesn't bend that way. I don't think nobody's arm bends that way. Alright, valve cover bolted on. And then for our next trick, we're going to do a little something that I like to call taking two bolts and bolting this little canister on and hoping that it solves most of our issues. It's a little advanced. It might be hard to keep up with, but you'll get it. Alright, catch can's bolted on. Need to connect it with a hose. That way it's actually, you know, functional. And then we need to, I want to look at the plugs on that side. Those ones are easy to get to. See how things are looking. Do a compression test. There was something else I was going to do too. Oh yeah, wastegate line. That's right. And then if everything else is looking good, compression test looks good, we'll probably take it down the road and see how it does. Now, she is very wet. Can't really see a timing mark on it. Very wet. Not great. Let's put that back in there. Actually, let's do some tests real quick. I'll turn the camera off and go through things and see how it's doing. So much to everyone's surprise, all the numbers seem fine. I could only do a compression test. My little makeshift leak down tester is broke. But all the compression numbers were within like 13% of each other. So, and then I've got the vacuum lines here. Probably not the best idea since the engine is not running great, but honestly, not really a huge concern. So let's fire it up and take it down the road and see what it does. Hopefully it doesn't, you know, choo-choo out the breather like it was before. See the coolant all over the windshield. Yeah, I kind of think we might have, I think it might be a head gasket issue. Might have been blowing boost right into the water. We've got something going on with oil here. Did it blow? Something happened. I don't know where the oil's coming from. But yeah, she's not happy. Yeah, it's weird because the temp gauge on the dash, I think, works. And it never got even up to halfway, so it didn't seem like it was... No, it's hot. Huh. So on the bright side, it's just a fun beater car. Got it for a steal, and I knew that there were some things wrong with it, but I wasn't really worried about it. Preventative maintenance, I could have pulled it apart and completely went through it to begin with, but I didn't really want to do that. I kind of just wanted to beat on it for a little bit and have some fun with it, and now we're finding some weak links. So teeing the vacuum line to the top port of the wastegate, it did make 5 pounds of boost, like above 5,000 RPM. So I think for now, the thing still runs and drives and moves around. Probably just going to leave it alone until I get some of the other stuff finished up. And then we'll pull this out, go through it, and come up with a game plan. Whether that's fixing the 331 and putting it back in the car or doing something else, I don't know. I'm not really in love with this engine. I mean, I'm going to fix the engine regardless, and then if I don't put it back in this, I'll sell it. I mean, I don't want to sell a junk engine, so I'll fix whatever's wrong with it. If it needs head gaskets, new cam, whatever. And then we'll go from there. So, like I said, for now, we'll probably toss the hood back on this thing, park it outside so I can get to work on some of the other stuff, get that done. But I'm now going to head over to Pops' place and go check out the Pro Street Starfire, and that thing should be painted. And I am so excited to check that out. But you guys have to wait for the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing and clicking that bell. I'll see you next time.